All right. Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Can we invite you to take a seat? Come to the stage, I should say. Come on in. Wow, the mic is very loud tonight. We'll turn it down a little bit. How's everyone doing this evening? Oh, how are we really doing this evening? Come on. You know, I got to admit, can we turn the microphone is that really loud? You cold? We're gonna have to raise the energy in here to warm up, right? Who was here last month? Show of hands. Yes. Can we give yourselves a round of applause for coming back? Last month was an incredibly tough event because I was so sick and we showed up, and I'm excited to be here. Honestly, it's been 10 days, I think, 14 days I got out of my clawed dungeon, and this is the first time coming out to enjoy it all with you, so I'm super excited to be here. I want to say thank you for coming along. Can I get a show of hands whose first time it is here this evening? Lots of you. Amazing. Thank you. Round of applause. Round of applause. The reason why I want to say thank you for coming along is I think one of the biggest opportunity costs that we have in our lives, in our business, in our relationships is the opportunity cost, right? The opportunity cost of the other thing that we could be doing. I know that you could all be somewhere else right now. You know, it could have been sunset, coconut, dates on the beach. Maybe you're doing that right before coming here. You could be out for a dinner. You could be Netflix. You could be laying in bed. You could be doing anything else. Yet you're here. And I know we're in massive competition to crappy events. Who's been to a crappy event? You go, I could have been doing anything. Yeah, lots of you, right? And so our goal is to not be a crappy event. In fact, to live up to our name of the #1 best voted networking event. Yeah, woo! Thank you. Thank you. So my name is Daniel Lawson. I'm going to be your host for this evening. People always ask, how is it that we got started? One of the things that Louise and I did just last week is recorded a podcast with the full story of Give It All. It's been 2 years in the making. This is our 23rd event on three different continents, our 14th here in Bali. So we're very proud of what it is that we've created. And there's so much of the story that I just can't share with you right now. It's going to be coming soon. Check your mailbox this week. I'd love to share all the details. But basically where it got started was after Louise and I were traveling around. Louise, raise your hands. This is my wonderful partner, behind the scenes and doing a lot as well. We're traveling around for 2 years. Like I know some of you, I've spoken to some of you, have been doing it. It gets very lonely, right? Jumping from place to place to place, going, where's my people? Where's my community? Where's my relationship? And it takes a certain amount of commitment to stay somewhere. All right, what are we gonna, sorry, my microphone is buzzing. What are we gonna do? Let's go out and make some friends. And that's what we did in Medellin. We went out to make some friends, and we went to a whole lot of networking events that felt really awkward, like somebody trying to sell you shit you didn't want to buy. Anyone had that experience?
Insurance!
Insurance, yes. Amongst many other things. Coaching, oh. And then we'd go to a speaking event and be somebody standing on the stage, pitching you into their funnel. And I was like, can't we just be humans again? Can't we connect and see if we're going to be friends? Maybe we've got the same kind of vibe, we've got the same kind of interests. Maybe if I like you and I trust you, maybe then I can look at what it is that you're selling. So I had this idea. I was like, to give you a reference point, after traveling around for 2 years of facilitating events and hosting events, I thought I could do better. And I don't know whether you've ever had this experience of going, I can do better, and then you don't do better. It's just like you judging that. You've got to get on the game and play the game, get on the field to kick the goals before you can judge it. So I was like, let's give it a go. That's where Give It All first came from. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it throughout this evening. So what I want to say is, there is no sales pitch here. People go, Daniel, I got to the end of the event and you didn't sell me anything. I'm like, this is not a sales event. It's not some ascension model. What I will offer and invite you into is what we've created is a whole world of experiences. We've got Give It All as one of them. There's a few others that I'm going to share with you throughout the evening. They're not going to be all of you, or all of you aren't going to be for all of them. But I'd love to share them with you because they have come from feedback from our community to say, we'd love more of this. So I'm going to share with you how you can get involved with some of those throughout this evening. Now, can I get a show of hands? Who's here is to meet a friend, a family member, probably not a family member, a date maybe? Someone else? Yeah? Yeah, long-lost family member? Well, wasn't expecting to see you here. Awesome, there's a few of you. Who here is wanting to come to see a speaker? Maybe a friend is on stage? Yeah, you got to... Thank you, speakers, for bringing your wonderful friends. And other speakers, these are your audience. Can I get a show of hands? Who doesn't know what they're here for? They're just here to figure something out? Good. I appreciate your honesty. My goal for you this evening is when you leave here tonight, or maybe next week, or maybe next month, at some stage, you're going to be one of our many following that come up and say, Daniel, Give It All is my highlight of my month. Thank you so much. And you're welcome to say that as many times as you like, because it really means a lot. I'll always take that compliment. It's definitely the highlight of my month to come out and hang out with all of you. So thank you for being here. Let's give yourselves one more round of applause. Thank you. So the way this evening is going to run is we've got 8 speakers. I was thinking, I don't have 8 fingers on the hand. That's weird. 8 speakers, so 5 plus another 3. We're going to have, most of them are going to be 5 minutes. You know what I get every single month? Somebody goes, can I have a few more minutes? 5 minutes is really hard. And I'm like, I know. That's why we do it. If you can't do a great 5-minute talk, it might seem counterintuitive. You can't do a great 30-minute talk. And the reason is because to be a great speaker, you've got to strip away all the shit and all the filler that doesn't need to be in there. And so that's where we first developed this idea is, let's come and practice doing 5-minute talks. And to begin with, I kind of felt like I was setting up our speakers because I wasn't able to do it. But over the last 200 talks that I've hosted, I now feel like I've developed it. I'm really grateful for that. So we're going to have 5-minute speakers, and then we're going to have one featured speaker that's going to be closing off the first half, which is going to be 10 minutes, and we're going to have our headline speaker closing out the evening, which is going to be 30 minutes as well. The way that we're going to time it is the 5-minute speakers. This is mainly for the speakers, but also for you audience, so you know what's going on when you see the lights change, is at 3 minutes 30, when they've got 90 seconds to go, the lights go green. Huh, look at that, I love that magic. And then at 5 minutes, the lights turn red. Yes. So, speakers, if you're on stage and the lights are red, one time I had a speaker go, I didn't see the lights turn red. Well, where were you? So, when the lights are red and you're still up on here on stage like after 30 or 40 seconds, I'm going to come up on stage, walk up next to you and stand like really awkwardly next to you as an indication that it's time to finish up your talk, yeah? So let's try not to get to that because it's probably more awkward for you than it is for me, and it doesn't look good on the recordings. Can we do that? Yes. Awesome. Have I missed anything? Oh, the most important thing, of course. So our speakers are here to give it all. Are we able to turn that video off? It's just a bit distracting. Our speakers are here to give it all. Give it all to you. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be a passive audience, does it? Sitting there like, just to entertain me. I think it's a much more fun position to be in as an audience when you're active and you're engaged, and you can bring it all for our speakers too, right? Yeah! Yeah! So let's get a demonstration of that. What does it mean to give it all to our speakers? Can we do like standing ovation? Lift the energy. So let's give it a go. Let's see how good you are. All right, let's give it up for our next speaker. Yeah! How good does that feel, right? That's what it's about. One of the main reasons I do that is because it's really fucking scary to come up on the stage. I know a lot of people have nerves when it comes to public speaking, but it makes it so much easier when the audience is really engaged with what it is that you're about to say. So let's give them that gift. In my eyes, the person that's on stage, who's coming up, they're the most important person in the room. Let's help them to feel that way. Cool? Let's do it. All right. Let's do it one more time. Let's give it up for our first speaker. Amy, come to the stage. Welcome back. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Oh my God. Nothing says don't mess up your speech like my face on a stick. Oh my God. It's Bali Sisterhood, everyone. Wow. Thank you. So I have an unpopular opinion. I believe that there's some really terrible business advice out there. I have gotten an ungodly amount of terrible business advice throughout my venture as an entrepreneur, and tonight, I'm here to tell you about it. I was joking with my friends the other day, actually, about writing a book about the worst advice that I've ever received as an entrepreneur. Tonight, you're gonna be the lucky recipients of the top number 1 and number 2 absolute worst pieces of advice. If you're down for that, give me a woo! Yes! Ladies in the back are way too excited to hear bad advice. I see you. So the number 1 worst piece of advice came when I became an entrepreneur. I was super stressed out at my corporate job. I was having a terrible time after being there for 5 years. My hair was falling out, and I was ready to make the leap. So I turned in my 2-week notice, and I felt immediate relief. Yes, I'm free. And then 2 weeks later it comes along, and my job finally ended. I was like, oh my God, what do I do now? I guess I could do something that I've always wanted to do, which is being outside in the sun near the Santa Monica Ocean. So I started walking dogs. And turns out I was really good at walking dogs. So in 30 days, I got 30 clients. And I thought, wow, okay, might as well make a business out of this, right? I guess I'm an entrepreneur now. So I went home and I bought a little logo on Canva, and I put the dogs together on it, and it was a pink sparkly logo. And then I made my custom business cards that said, Amy Schwab, professional dog walker. And I bought a $7 domain, betcheswalkingbetches.com. And my best friend at the time, we were living together, and she turns to me after 30 days and after seeing all my hard work, and she says, this is where the number 1 worst piece of advice comes in. She said, so you're just gonna walk dogs? That can't bring much money, right? Why don't you go get a job down the street at a grocery store? Thanks, Jessica. What kind of advice is that? That's terrible advice. And let's unpack what she was actually saying. What she was saying is, don't believe in yourself 100%. Give yourself 50% and throw the other 50% away at a grocery store job. That is so problematic for so many entrepreneurs to hear, especially in their first month. So luckily, I did not take her advice, and today I am the proud owner of a 6-figure luxury pet care company in Los Angeles with a team of 13 while I live here in Bali. And so I'm here to tell you the number 1 best piece of advice is believe in yourself 1,000%. Because if you don't, then who will? Who will? There's a book called The Art of War, written by Sun Tzu, later famously quoted by Tony Robbins. And there's a story, and it goes like this. So there's a general and his army, and they're responsible for overtaking the island, the neighboring island. And so the general and his army go and they row over. You can tell I've never rowed before in my life. What is this? They row over to the neighboring island, they park their boats, and they go up the hill, and they're ready to strike. The general goes down, lights fire to all of the boats. Why does he do that? Well, he goes back to the army and said, you've got 1 shot. You're not going back. There's no plan B. You are not retreating. You are not falling behind. You are not running away. You are accomplishing that. And so that's what I'm here to tell you today. The top number 1 piece of advice is believe in yourself 1,000%. You do not need a plan B. As Tony Robbins says, burn the boats. The second worst piece of advice came about 6 months later. It was November 2023, and I had hired about 5 team members at that point, and they were absolutely crushing it. They were doing a fantastic job. And I was brainstorming with this person, how am I gonna celebrate my team? They're doing such a great job. And this is where the number 2 worst piece of advice comes in. This person turns to me and goes, why would you buy them anything? They should be happy working for you. You don't owe them anything. A show of hands, who here is an entrepreneur? Identifies as a business owner? Wow, the majority of you, wonderful. Keep your hands raised actually if you manage a team, even if it's 1 person. Amazing, keep your hands raised. If that's not where you are right now and you want to be, look around the room, that's who you want to talk to at break, yeah? Wonderful. So what this is telling me is I need to not celebrate my team that's helping me grow. And that didn't make any sense. So again, I didn't listen to this person, and I end up celebrating my team. And do you want to know what happened? 5 of my best team members today were word of mouth referrals from other team members that had a wonderful experience. And so the golden takeaways for you tonight is number 1, believe in yourself. And number 2, invest in your team as though it's your most valuable asset. And that's how you can turn a $7 domain into a 6-figure agency. Thank you.
Did it again. Well done. Thank you so much. You know what I really love about these stories is, it's a cliche to hear, "Oh, just believe in yourself," right? Really? But when you hear it through such a well-told story, you're like, yeah, I am going to fucking believe in myself and get epic results. I love that. There's 2. Would you like we could do it afterwards. How sweet is this? Oh, we got the content. Given flowers. Amazing. Can we give it up for Dan Holloway? Give it up for Dan Holloway. Every woman wants a partner like him, right? I think that's so sweet. We'll let them have their moment, shall we? Have their moment. That it reminds me of when we first created Give It All. I mentioned, I had this idea that I believed I could do better. There was another, more selfish desire. Was like, I'd been traveling around the world trying to speak on stages, but I couldn't really do it. I was like, I wanted to be a public speaker, but I didn't know how the fuck to get paid. So I was like, well, what if I just create my own stage? And the thing is when you're a nobody, no one cares. I actually say this to a lot of people when they're so nervous about coming up on the stage. I'm like, no one cares about you. Everyone's just thinking about themselves. It's true, right? Thinking about how you are relating to what that person's saying. But anyway, I knew that if I created an event and it was all just about me standing on stage, no one would show up. So I had this idea. I was like, well, if I really want to speak on stages, but I haven't had an opportunity to, I know there's probably a whole big group of people that would love an opportunity to stand on a stage. What if I created them that opportunity? I was like, I think that would be pretty cool. And then those people that are stepping on stage, I'm sure they'll have friends that would love to support them standing on stage. Now we have an audience. I was like, if I just remove myself out of the picture, suddenly we've got an event that's working really well. And what I learned between these 2 things is 1, be the demonstration you want to see in the world. This is one of the secrets of Give It All, is connection and collaboration. This is what I was craving. The more I showed up with that, the more you people that valued this would show up. And I was like, voila, I got my friends. And then the second thing is, you might have heard the saying, take care of enough people's dreams, your dreams will get taken care of along the way. I put a whole lot of people on the stage, I bring a whole lot of people in, and now I get to stand on the stage. This is so cool. So take those 2 pieces of advice away, or insights away, and my invitation is, how can you apply this to yourself here tonight as we move into the networking break? How can you show up in the conversations? Because I believe you're here because of the speakers, but more deeply, you're here for that connection, that collaboration, the sense of belonging, right? You want to meet someone else. How can you show up in the conversations that we're going to be having in the break of being the demonstration of what you want to see in this room here tonight with the people that you're connecting with? And maybe, rather than, what is it that I can take from this person, I wonder how I can help them feel their dreams and know that yours will be getting taken care of along the way. Is that a commitment? Is that something that you can really bring attention to? Awesome. That thought in mind, let's take care of one more dream. Welcome Elena to the stage. Come on up. All the way around. This just reminded me of Stephen Bartlett's entry at Nuanu one time. All the way down and along. The stage is yours.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Here you
Thank
go.
you. Hello. Hi, I'm coming from Ubud, I know, and we don't all just wear kimonos and walk barefoot, but I keep it Ubud. I will take off my heels right now because I'm a specialist in living your truth. And I want to share a little story about, I was here last year in September at the event. And I was such a weirdo. I was like, why are you going to a networking event when you have such a hard time really connecting with people and you don't really want to talk to people either? So I just kept looking around in my little shell. I was like, weird people, weird event. I'm like, what am I doing here? But later on I realized it was not the people, it was not the place, it was me. And I saw my own reflection in everyone else that was there. And the reason for me why it was so hard for me to connect and enjoy myself in this event was because I still was afraid to be seen. And have you ever tried to give it your all with an avoidant? Yeah, works pretty well. So really the last year I became my own case study. And I had to dig really, really deep to understand what I was so afraid of. And not by really sitting down, okay, now I'm going to heal my wound of being seen because life happened. And at this point, I also want to give you a little reminder. I know we sometimes are always looking for the quick fixes. Let me fix it quickly. Let me find a shortcut. Let me find a solution right now. But it's not always the quick fixes. It's time. And I always say, I don't want you to save time. I want you to make time. I want you to live in time. I want you to give yourself time, because time allows you to stay present, and being present allows you to live your truth. Because you don't miss out on time by waiting. You create way more moments when you allow yourself to slow down. And that's what I did. I was slowing down. I was like, I don't have to rush, but I know everything comes at the point and the moment when I'm ready to receive it and when I'm ready to look at it. So fast forward in November, I was flying out to Tulum. Crazy story, also at the airport. And I realized back in 2012, I was living in the United States for over 2 years. And I had a little incident with the police there. And that fear from that incident, after 14 years, was still deeply stuck in my body. I wasn't aware of that. I was looking at all the other things that I was experiencing. And being at the airport, observing myself, how I started to shake, how my heart started to race, how I was trying to breathe, going into this little office, seeing all these detention posters, thinking, holy fuck. I realized, wow, I am so afraid of being seen because I always felt as soon as I'm being seen, I am going to get into trouble. So I had to stay under the radar the whole entire time. And that's where I had myself back. But I also had the chance by going there to really work through that fear. And also, if you have ever been to Tulum, Mexico, it's not like Bali. We're here in a bubble where we can feel really safe. Like, I never lock my door. If I leave my scooter key there, it's not gonna be gone. Everything is fine. But Tulum is a different kind of story. And I've realized there, I did not feel safe at all. And that's when I had the conclusion. Bali made me feel so safe in my body, because it is safe, that I never had to question the safety. But I've never felt safe within myself. It was the environment that I've created, the bubble that I've created to truly feel safe in my body. So fast forward there, and I think it was February, I got a message from you if I wanted to come back to the event. And one side of me was like, yes, let's go. The other side of me was like, nope, we're not doing it. And again, living in your truth means to listen to your body. It means to be aware of how you function, how you work the best, how your energy flows the best, and how your body is resonating and communicating with you in different situations. So I could have came here in February already because I could have thought, oh, I'm running out of time. Let me do it. Maybe I'm not gonna get another chance, but Today I can only give it my all because I gave myself time. I gave myself the experience. I gave myself the presence. And I'm here fucking living my truth.
Good. Fuck yeah. Best feeling, right? Look at this. I love it. Fantastic message. You know, the fear of being seen, I think, must be one of the most common fears that we have. There's a few major fears that we all have. Fear of being seen is one of them. Maybe I see it more because I host something like this. If you've got a fear of being seen, to stand on stage in front of 60 or 70 people is pretty fucking scary. So well done. Like, thank you. And to everyone that comes up, how good do you feel now, though? You feel seen? But I really love the message behind what it is that you shared, is if we don't feel safe in our truth, well then of course, like being seen in that, and not being able to see our own truth and our discomfort, it's a hard thing to overcome. We're not going to want to have it. So I think beautifully told, beautifully, healed and gone through the journey. And I think it's a real testament for who it is that you've become and who it is that I think we're all becoming, and wherever it is that the path that it is that we're on. So thank you. Can we give it up for Elena one more time? So one of the other experiences here under the Give It All world of experiences is the Founders Breakfast. We created this, we're coming up to our third event. It came off the back of, when was it? It was about 5 Give It Alls ago. I was standing down the back and a gentleman there, someone that I respected, he goes, Daniel, this is not a real networking event. And I was like, oh, that kind of hurt. What do you mean? And he said, everyone is just here having a social interaction, catching up with friends and connecting. I was like, well, isn't that what networking is as well? Networking doesn't have to all be about business. A lot of people say, I love the connection, I love the collaboration, I love the dates that I go on and the people that I move in with. It's every kind of human connection possible, I think we have here in the room. But he made a point. He said, some people want to have more business conversations, and it kind of reminded me of like this back in the corporate world of having to go to the Chamber of Commerce and do networking for business. Yet times have changed. We're entrepreneurs, we're value creators, we're living here in Bali doing all sorts of amazing things. And I thought, yeah, there's a portion of you here in the room that want to have conversations about business, about clients, about generating revenues, creating really great referral systems, teaching each other how to be your referral salesperson, right? So that's what we created for Founders Breakfast. It comes, so today's Thursday. Tuesday, directly following Give It All, we sit here, maximum 20 people. Usually we have 14, 15, intimate circle or table, and we go around the room and we teach each other how to be, who your best referrer would be and how to refer. So we're coming up to our third event and we've already generated like 15,000 euros between us, which is pretty cool. If you'd like to come along to that, the best way to find out is giveitallevent.com and then go up to experiences, click Founders Breakfast, get a ticket. I'd love to invite you. I can see a few of you that are coming already, and there's a few tickets left. So, thank you so much. That's one invitation. I'll have one more, 2 more maybe. We've got to the stage of the event now that we have a wildcard slot. I really love these wildcard slots. The issue that we have today is we have so many women on the stage. We need some men to balance it out. And I've actually, it's funny, when I said that, all the guys are like, fuck, is he coming for me? And all the women point to this one guy. What's this one guy got? I'm gonna do something I don't usually do because because I can do what I want, right? This is my event. Peter, I would love to hear you speak again. I am very curious about what you've got. This is really happening. Geordie, yes, Geordie, it'll be your time to speak. I'm coming to you, Matthew. Hi. Look, this guy sitting all the way back down in the back corner. I've asked this guy to speak like 3 times and he keeps going, maybe one day. I just found out that he's leaving tomorrow. No. And I was like, you motherfucker. Matthew, would you like to speak on the stage? Would you have something to come and speak? We're not even going to hear what he's going to speak about. All right, I'm going to quickly get back to the stage. I love this impromptu stuff. This is my favorite thing of the night. I don't know what he's got to speak about. Matthew, by the way, he's the founder of Pangea. He gave me, he bought me. Just wait, not yet. We've got to give you your round of applause. I sat down, had a meeting with him. I told him about Give It All. He goes, I love what it is that you're creating. Here's a SIM card. And we've got Pangea crew here anyway. It's a SIM card that works anywhere in the world. I personally love it. I love what it is that you're doing. I love your belief in what it is that we're doing. And this is why I knew you would have something good to speak about. Don't know what it is, but can we give it up for Matthew? Come to the stage. The stage is yours, brother. 5 minutes.
Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going. Let's give it all. Let's go. Daniel's only actually heard me speaking drunk, ranting, so I don't really know what he expects, but I am starting to get drunk, so let's see how we do. I'm just going to call this words. And I'd like to start a bit weirdly, because I'm weird. And I just want you all to hum like this with me. Just follow me. Thank you. No, I'm kidding. Look, it's... A hum means something, but it's not quite a word. And I kind of want to explore what a word is. There's a lot of words that the more ancient civilizations kind of used that we still use to mean or speak to the act of creation or what a creator is. Amen, Allah, Om, Amen, are all trying to point to this thing called creation, right? And ancient civilizations, when defining the ritualistic things that kind of sought after our lives, used words as creation. So in Genesis, it says, God spoke the world into existence. It was his word. In Hebrew, devar literally means to speak, but it also means thing. Again, it means creation. In Taoism, they say that as soon as you ascribe a word to a bird, you forget what it is, because you detach it from the tree, which is detached from the ground, which is detached from the earth. So as soon as you label something, you miss what it is. And modern civilizations do this too. We've got Italy in the 18th century had a politician called Massimo. And Italy was becoming formed, but it hadn't congregated around a language yet, Italian. And so he said, we have created Italy, now we must create Italians. I was watching an ad the other day. The guy said, I'm going to teach you to be more powerful, because with more power, you'll get more success, which sounds kind of like a good statement on the surface, until you realize power just means get more of what you want, and success means have more of what you want. So it's circular, but it works. And the reason that it works, I think, is because as soon as someone says power, you remember the tyrant, or you remember the moment that you felt powerless. And as soon as you hear success, there's a constellation of things inside your body and your mind that light up. And you're like, I know what success is to me. And so people keep clicking, and they keep running the ad. To be or not to be? That is the question. Might be the most famous English sentence in history. And it's a very weird way to actually say, oh, I'm thinking about committing suicide. But it works because he knew that if you use iambic pentameter and you speak to the beat of the heart, you get at someone's heart. And if you frame something in a weird way, not I'm alive, but to be, it sticks in people's minds. And I think what I'm getting at is that a word in itself, by itself, is a story. And it's just a hum, ah, Allah, with a little bit of teeth and a little bit of lips. And a string of words is a world. And so each year, I pick a word to define who I want to be that year. And this year, the word is the thing that we started with, which is harmony. Harmony is not an end state. It's the understanding that you want to dance through, not with balance. I don't fucking want balance. I want to go all in, right? But that chaos and order together make something work. There's a harmony in that. Play and work lead to the better of each other. So I suppose what I'd like to say to end is, from my heart, with your harmony, thank you.
Thank you, brother. To begin with, the first 90 seconds, I was like, did I make a good choice here? Where are we going? Has he drunken too much? But, wow. This is why I love the wild card slots. You know, if somebody can just be picked out of the audience and come up and share something that's, I don't know whether that's at your front of the mind or that's just the drunken slur from the back of the room, whatever it is, there was a pretty cool insight with that, right? I love it. Can we give it up for Matthew one more time? Well done. Can I get a show of hands? Who's been inspired by a speaker so far? One of our three? Yes, a few of you. Keep your hand up. Who would love to speak on the stage at some stage? A lot of you. Awesome. You know, the wild card's already been taken, so you don't have to fear of me picking on you right now. But this is the second experience of the world of Give It All experiences. Is you're having an experience right now as an audience, right? Another experience is to have it up here on the stage. And so the reason, like I mentioned before, the reason why we created this stage is so you all can come and speak up here. Really, the only people that don't speak on stages, I believe, are the ones that either haven't been given an opportunity and or haven't given themselves permission yet. You've got an opportunity here now. So it's up to you to give yourself the permission. I'll give you the permission. You've got to give it to yourself to come up and speak. And wonderful things come from speaking on stages, especially this one. And I look at a few of you that have spoken on the stage and where it is that you've gone as a result, the authority that you've gained because we create such amazing content and we put it out to the world. You know, the lights and the cameras and the content and the microphones and the audience, and it's a big stage. Sure, it's a bit scary, but fuck, it's awesome. It really is. So please, if you'd like to come and speak on the stage, and I have this conversation every single month, I actually just had it an hour ago, is don't wait until you're ready. Just say yes and then work out how, because if you wait until you're ready, you'll probably miss the boat. And this is very true for one of our speakers here tonight, right? Yes. So please register early, either go to giveitall_event or go to giveitallevent.com. Again, go into experiences, go down to speaker application, and we've got all sorts of wonderful packages, how we can boost your authority through your social media. One of the best things about standing on stage is it can't be faked. You know, AI hasn't been able to do this yet with all the mistakes and my quirkiness and everything else. This is just me being me, and I'd love to give you this invitation as well. Can we do it? Yes, let's do it. So, who are we up to now? That was the third, so we've got the fourth. Featured speaker time. Kath, where are you? Oh, here we are. Let's give it up for Kath. Come to the stage. It's all yours.
Thank you. Oh, there's a lot of people. So I'm going to take you back to August 2020. It's 2 a.m. and the world outside is still. Not just because it's 2 a.m., but because the world over is in lockdown. Down the hall from where I am, my 3 children are asleep in bed. My 10-month-old baby, my 10-year-old, and my 7-year-old. We'd just had birthday cake to celebrate his 7th birthday that night. I am not asleep, and I am not in bed. I am crumpled in the armchair that sits in my bathroom. My body doing things that I cannot control. My vision is blurred from tears. My throat is tight. My breath comes in jagged and short. And I am shaking, freezing cold in the tropics of Bali. The shakes are so visceral, I feel like my DNA is rewiring. In that moment, a web of lies and betrayal, years in the making, had revealed itself. And because nothing hard ever happens with an easy path forward. At the same time, my travel business was in complete freefall through no fault of my own. I had moved to Bali to lead a dream life, and instead, it had suddenly become a gilded cage. I was trapped, cut off from every person who loved me, all my friends and family in far-flung parts of the world who simply couldn't get to me, and I could not get to them. And in that bathroom, as my body was doing these things that I couldn't control, I was sitting there trying to work out what my next move would be, because my health had been compromised by choices that were not mine. I was trying to work out where one goes for a comprehensive health screening when every hospital and every clinic the world over is consumed by a global pandemic. Being in Bali, trapped, with nowhere to run, left me with no options other than to look at the ridiculous abundance of ways of healing that only a place like Bali offers. I had to dive in, dive deep, and so in the spare time that I did have, because as you might imagine, being a single mother of 3 small children doesn't leave you drowning in spare time, I did exactly that. I went deep. I went into the dark. No bypassing, no sugarcoating, no halfway. It was brutal and it was messy. And in the process, I also started looking for ingredients that might help nourish my nervous system and bring it back to the way it needed to be. And that search, that hunt for ingredients, was what changed everything. It was in that search that I came across 2 ingredients in the northernmost region of Indonesia, in Aceh, a little red berry and another fruit the size of a nectarine that were both being thrown away or discarded, classified as byproduct or waste ingredients. And I knew what it was like to be the thing that someone threw away. And so I couldn't stop thinking about these ingredients. And with my now business partners, we started buying these waste ingredients from the farmers, generating a secondary income for them and their families, which in turn meant that they could send a daughter to school, they could afford to fix their roof, or they could have healthcare. Because in the jungles in Aceh, while there is an abundance of magical ingredients in forests and jungles where tigers still roam, there is also an abundance of poverty. So in buying these ingredients, we started generating additional income for farmers, and we brought the ingredients to Bali, and in my kitchen in Barawa, I started formulating a drink that would nourish your mind and your mood. It was that drink that started to change everything. It did exactly what I needed it to do. It nourished my nervous system. It allowed me to sleep. It provided me with sustained energy to be the mother that my children needed me to be, because I couldn't be a ghost and I couldn't fall apart, not in the ways that I felt like I needed to. we created a drink that is so powerful, and it has all of these flow-on effects that it provides. It nourishes customers, it helps families with additional income, it helps us to connect with community, to connect with people who are stuck in concrete jungles who desperately need help for their nervous system. And ultimately, it is something that changed my life and came from a moment of destruction and waste. And so I leave you with this tonight. Where in your life is something being wasted? Lean into it, look at it. What are you pushing aside? Because it is quite possibly where your greatest asset is hiding. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Look at this. The love for your story. Thank you. Thank you so much. Before you leave, you've got a little gift for everyone, right? Well, not for everyone. Do
Oh, yeah.
you want to tell them about it?
All right, something fun. Somewhere, I actually don't know where, but somewhere under 2 tables are some postcards hidden. If you get that postcard, come and see me because you have won a weekend pack of hero drinks, and I will sort out getting it to you. Oh, there we go. One. There's one more. Ah, there. There we go.
Do you want to quickly tell them about the connection between your story and Hero?
Okay. Hero drinks, we spell hero with an I because I am my own hero, and we want everyone else to be their own hero and take their wellness and their health into their own hands. They are drinks for your mind and mood. There is a nootropic low caffeine energy drink, which is a slow 6-hour energy. And then there is a sleep tonic that relaxes your central nervous system and allows you to sleep. And they are made with byproduct waste ingredients. They are 100% natural, and they are made with a low GI sugar, so they do not spike your glucose.
Beautiful. And let's give it up for Kath and Hero. Aren't the best businesses and the best products, the best services, those that just come from our own trials and tribulations and our own journeys, whether it's emotional healing or physical healing or something that we need to really figure out for ourselves, and we figure it out? Midge, your talk reminds, every time we come back to this topic, your talk always comes back to that, going, when we can take care of ourselves and we figure out what it is that we need to do, we step into this greater sense of purpose of how we can serve others. And I really love I'm surprised, Kath, we had to prompt you to make that connection, so thank you for sharing it. I really like the I in heroes, that we can be our own heroes in our lives and overcome our own challenges, and in doing so, that's how we become the demonstration for others and help others along the way, right? Let's give it up for Kath one more time. It reminds me about values. I mentioned before we have 2 major values that I love to bring into this event, and why I created it was connection and collaboration. As we've grown, a 3rd value has emerged. So, we're growing this event to the point now that we have businesses coming to us saying, would like to sponsor it. And I'd say, oh yeah, sure, I'd like lots of money. I'll take your money. But then it really doesn't feel right. I'm like, why am I pushing it away? And Louise and I, we had long conversations about, why can't we take the money? And I'll go and talk to a coach, and they're like, Daniel, you've got to work on your money mindset. And I'm like, it's not about money mindset. They're like, stop leaving money on the table. And I realized that I've got my 3rd big value that was sitting there the whole time that I didn't realize was integrity. And it's integrity for our community here. I really feel like we're the collaboration and the family that we got. I feel like I need to protect what it is that we've got. And also myself. And when I'm standing on the stage, my own integrity, that having Kath come and speak and talk about Hero, I love what it is that you're doing. I could stand here and champion all day long and say, I've tasted it, I love it, it's a great product. And so I love these kind of conversations. So it's been kind of it's been really challenging. It's been a new thing that I've never had to overcome before, and not taking on sponsors, but accepting partners. And so we're doing a collaboration with our first partner, which is the House of Yuri. So this is a promotional spot here. Louise and I, we went and did a podcast there last week. Great coffee shop. I believe it's the best specialty coffee in Canggu. You'll see their video playing on the screen. That's actually turned off now, in the break. And if you'd like to do podcasting, creative studio work, photography in the studio, hit up. Matt's not here tonight, but he does usually come along. He's a true artist at heart that loves coffee. He's an awesome guy, and I stand here fully in support of him being able to support you and you guys being able to support his business as well. So can we give it up for House of Yuri? Lawson. And of course, the second one that we really need to say thank you to is Amavi. I have so much gratitude for the team here, down at the bar, behind in the kitchen. They're doing a wonderful job. I honestly, hand on heart, don't believe that without Amavi, I don't know another venue that could have such a setup like this available to us. If they weren't here and giving us as much support as they do, what you can see and behind the scenes, we wouldn't be able to do it. So please, I really encourage you to support generously, drink plenty, eat plenty, hang out, have a good time, because this is what enables us to keep coming back and creating this amazing experience here together. Can we give it up for Amavi? Now we're going to go into, oh man, I love the timing. One thing I got to, again, appreciation to all of you. The punctuality was amazing, as always. I really love that, and we're right on time again. We're going to go into a 45-minute networking conversation, connection break. Before we go there is a couple of things. We did this new thing. I'm not going to talk about it too much because we are right on time, but there's 26 of you in the room that got personalized introductions from the new feature that we've got. Put your hand up if you got it. You know it? Yes? Okay. Here's what I didn't do very well, is if you scroll to the bottom of that email and there's a link that says directory, then you can go and see everyone's faces of who you need to mingle with. Now, those of you that have got no idea what it is that I'm talking about, I'll email you all tomorrow so you can join and come and do that. That's probably going to be the easiest thing. One of the things that I've been thinking about is AI meets human connection. How does this work? And I thought, if we go to a networking event, how can we take the luck and the guesswork out of networking? I think AI might be able to help us solve that problem. So we're testing it here tonight. For those of you that are having weird and wonderful conversations with AI matches, let me know how that goes tomorrow. We're going to come back in, what should we say? Let's have a little bit longer. We'll have 8:30. We're going to come back after the break. We're going to start the music in just a moment. Before we get up and move around, I want you to turn to a person that you don't know that's in your proximity and have a conversation with them. Ask them, or tell them, or share with them something that no one would ever guess about you unless you're about to share them with them right now. And then have a wonderful break. We'll see you back in 45, 50 minutes. All right, are we ready, team? Come on back in. Down the back there. Come on in, come on in, come on in. This is my least favorite part of the evening. We've started all these amazing conversations, right? And then we got to finish them, and we got to come back and listen to some more amazing speakers. Marina, would you like to take a seat? Jody, would you like to come back to your seat? Can I get a show of hands who made a new best friend? Yes? Anyone get a date, maybe? No dates this evening? Who found their matches? Their introductions? A few of you. Amazing. So I think it's too risky for me to ask how they went. So I will ask, I'm going to create like a very short a Google Doc, and I'm going to send it out via email, probably tomorrow. And I'd really, really, really appreciate if you're able to give us some feedback on how it went. Because that's how we're going to reiterate and make it better, right? Is we need that feedback. And I think it's going to be a really wonderful feature once we can refine it and make it awesome. Can I get a show of hands? Who is quite cold? Yes. Oh, fuck. Can we please? Yeah, he's like, okay, got it. I just noticed like the rugs are coming out, all the scarves, hiding in towels. Standing up here when we're so enthusiastic on the stage and under the lights, I don't feel the cold. But I imagine when you're sitting down there, all the cold air is coming down, it's filling up the room, right? So, second half. Yes. What are we going to do in the second half? I did have some things prepared to speak about, and then I forgot to brief my mind on what we're going to speak about. So, should we just jump in? Jump into the next half. We're just waiting, by the way, we're just waiting for them to come and settle down. We're just kind of passing time. Awesome, let's jump straight in. We've got another 4 speakers. So we're going to have 3 5-minute talks, and then we're going to have a headline speaker, which is going to be 20 to 30 minutes. You'll notice there's some little glasses on the tables here, so we're going to have some interactive type insights, which I think is going to be amazing. What I'm going to do after the 3rd speaker is I'm going to come down, and you're going to have an opportunity to share what your insight is, your key takeaway from this evening was and is going to be as you action it out into the world tomorrow. Because, they say knowledge is power, but, if you don't, or is that the saying? Yeah, that is the saying. But, if you don't action the knowledge, well, then it's just like mental masturbation. It makes you feel really good, but nothing really comes of it, right? That kind of came out weird. It was perfect. It was fine. But anyway, the point that I'm making is, I know that many of you have come here just simply for some entertainment, some connection, and that's wonderful. And there's some of you here that are like, well, that's all very inspirational, but wouldn't it be cooler if we could have some kind of transformation as we leave? This is the secret to the transformation. The insight that you picked up here from one of our speakers, or maybe it was a conversation in the break, is that you go and implement it into your life, and you see a result, and then you act upon that, and this is progress, right? So after the 3rd speaker, I'm going to come down, and I'm going to ask a few of you what your key insight was, and if you're courageous enough to let us know what your accountability is. How are you going to action that insight as of tonight, maybe tomorrow, maybe the next day, maybe over the weekend? And if you're sitting next to someone that you're friends with, maybe they could be your accountability buddy as well. Now, oftentimes people are resistant to grab the mic, so we're going to even bribe you if you like. There's some Amavi vouchers if you want to give them a wave. So I've only got 3. I'm only going to ask 3 of you, so you're going to have to be really fast putting your hand up. Cool? Awesome. Like it. So let's give it up for our first speaker of the second half, Mr. Job. Come to the stage. All right, brother. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Start from here. Do you hear that? Do you hear that? That little voice in your head that had all the opinions ready from the moment I said start from here. That little voice in your head that might have judgment on how I look. Like, why the fuck do you wear loafers in Bali? That's like sweaty feet. Why would you do that? All those opinions are created. Good, bad, doesn't matter. You created that. When I was young, my parents never gave me anything. Not as in like they never gave me anything, I got birthday presents and that kind of stuff. But when I wanted something, I needed to create the opportunity for myself to get it. So when I was 10 years old, I went to high school, primary school, and Had there my backpack filled up, went to the square, talking to people, not to play football or soccer or chill with some friends. I had mints. Little rolls of mints. I bought them at the supermarket for like €1 pack of 4. And I started selling them to my classmates. Because if I wanted something, I needed to create it for myself. I didn't have money, I need to create money. Hey, you can buy 4 mints for €1. I sold them per pack to every classmate for €1. Got sold out 3 times until one of my other classmates found out that you can just buy them around the supermarket around the corner for €1 and then like bankrupt. But the point is, I created something from nothing. And then fast forward, was 20 years old, and just got kicked out of school, started in sales, fully commission-based. And when you start in sales and you do it fully commission-based, the point of starting is there. So I was awful, was not selling that much. I could barely afford my rent and need to live on crackers for 2 months straight. Well, I was living in a student dorm with 3 other people. Shared bathroom, tin walls, sometimes a shared meal. And within those 2 months, I always was ashamed of admitting that I was barely making any money to just keep my head afloat, because I just wasn't good enough. But I kept going. And the moment I kept going with it, later on, like, things started catching up. I got a job that was with a retainer, started doing like 80-hour work weeks like a maniac, do bartending at midnight, teaching theater in the weekends. And like, I got my shits figured out. Then later, I like reflected on that. Like, why? Why did I push through all of that? Why did I want to create that life so bad when I was starting out? And then later on, I figured it out. For me, it's strive now, regret nothing later. What do I mean by that? This event is called Give It All. If you would die today, very harsh thought. Scooter accident, it happens, we're in Bali. Would you be looking back at your life and think, did I give it my all? Do I have any regrets? Strive now, regret nothing later stands for that. To the core, we are creators. We created something from nothing. When I was selling mints in primary school, when I wanted to create that dream life of working remote and doing the sales, it's all created. The thoughts in the beginning, it's also created. You might have something in your mind right now, a thing in your business that you want to implement, a thing in your life that you want to push through. That's created for a reason. Strive now, regret nothing later. Start from here. Or in the theme of the event, give it all.
Good work, man. Nice to have you here. You know what was coming up for me when you're sharing that and giving it all and striving now, regretting nothing later, is a few events ago I felt like I had a really, personally for me, it was a really challenging event here. I kind of felt like it was a lot of work, it kind of sucked, and the next day I was sitting on the couch and I was like, fuck it, I don't want to show up again. I don't want to do it anymore. And I was like, there's been moments like this that I really wanted to give up and not do it. I was like, for what? 2 things happened immediately after, as if it came from the universe. As one, somebody from you in the audience messaged me. They didn't know how I was feeling, but they're like, Daniel, thank you so much. It was my favorite event ever. Like, it was so good. And I was like, wow, that was a very different kind of thought than the experience that I was having in that moment. And the next thing was Louisa here. She does, again, such a wonderful job. So much credit to her. She goes, First thing is, why are you making such a big drama about it? In a very Bulgarian way. I was like, because I want the drama. But then she asked another question. She was like, well, what if you could just take care of it? I list out all the things that were a big problem for you. And when I listed them all out, I realized that it was just that I wasn't taking responsibility for the things that I could take care of. And so coming back to what Job mentioned, there was a whisper in my head that it was like, am I really giving it all? Am I really striving now, or am I just giving up because, I don't know, something that I wasn't taking responsibility for was falling apart? So I was like, took Louise's kind of advice, and I was like, okay, if I can solve these things myself, can we show up again? And the answer was yes. And so now, we're striving now over through another, 3 events, and here we are, and we're rocking forth. So thank you. That was my reflection as I was listening to your talk. Let's give it up for Job. Thank you. Something I've noticed in this 6 years, actually, in personal development and coaching, is there comes a time when a man and a certain type of woman, many women, gets to a point in their lives where they're like, what I'm doing no longer works in getting me to where it is that I want to be. For a lot of guys, it's the hustle and the grind and the Claude Code dungeon, the addiction to productivity. Doesn't fill the gap of the loneliness and the intimacy, the loss of connection, and the deep craving for love in an intimate relationship, right? I know this, I live this, that was what hit my rock bottom. And I think equally, there's a few of you women in the room I've spoken to, I'm not going to look at anyone in particular, I've spoken to a few of you, that it gets to a point in your life where you're like, what I'm doing is not going to lead me to the life that it is that I want either. I'm not saying remove your masculinity. It's more about step into who it is that you need to become and take care of what it is that you need. I'm very passionate about this work of reconnecting with self. We talk about connection here with each other. I think this is a reflection of my deep craving for connection within myself that I continue to do. And so these are the conversations that we're having, and we've got 2 more Give It All World of experiences. One is the Reconnected Man. There's a few other brothers here tonight that's part of this brotherhood. We meet every week on a Tuesday evening. It's virtual because, as we love to travel, our circles and our connections can't travel with us unless we're on Zoom, and it works really well. We've also got the Reconnected Woman, which I think there is someone that just joined today that's here in the room as well. And the cool thing, the Reconnected Man, beautiful work, I love that. The thing that I love about the Reconnected Woman, though, is this is not a woman circle. This is not a sisterhood. We're not lighting the stage and bowing to the priestess of... Nothing wrong with all of that stuff, by the way. This is just not the work that I do. The work that I do with women is holding that masculine presence so you can finally let go of it and be and sit with you. It's not about becoming more feminine. This is about coming back to what's truly important to you. So if either of these 2 things as experiences speak to you, whether you're a man or a woman, not in reverse, we do use gender biases here, give it all event.com and have a look. Reconnected Man, Reconnected Woman. I just wrote a new video that still makes me laugh for the Reconnected Woman. That was a good one. And I want to say thank you again for Louisa and helping me that one. Did a wonderful job. Yes, she needs all the applauses. All the applauses, in my opinion. Actually, somebody said to me, this is actually one of my proudest achievements in my life. I've never said this on stage, but my proudest achievement in life is to have the relationship that Louisa and I have. We actually met in Bali, and somebody said to me the other day, you're like a beacon of hope that I can find my partner to in Bali. And it almost brings tears to my eyes because I'm so proud of that, and I love that I can be that hope for you. So, if you're looking for a partner, the dating scene is not fucked in Canggu. I'm not going to finish what I was going to say next. You can finish that sentence for yourself. Right, that's enough of me talking. Let's bring it up for our second duchy in a row, isn't it? I didn't plan that. Let's give it up for Leonie to the stage. And the stage is yours, making the dreams come true. Leonie said to me right before coming on stage, earlier today, she goes, I put on my vision board to speak on stage in Bali, and I'm leaving, what is it, next week?
Yeah.
Next week. And now she's making the vision board come true. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. 1 second. Thank you.
Stage is yours.
Okay. How many of you ever felt rejected or lost in love? Okay. It was 2016. I went to a bar. And in that bar, there was a guy standing randomly. And you know, we had eye contact and then flirting a little bit. So he asked my age. I said it. And he was 12 years younger than me. And I thought, okay, puppy, you're not my type. So, but at the end of the evening, we kissed a little bit and I went back to my house. But later on, he was super persistent in getting to know me. So he texted me all the time and I was like, okay, puppy, go away. But still, he appeared to be very nice, kind, masculine. He really made me feel like a woman. So after 6 months, I finally said to him, okay, let's try to have a relationship. So we started it. Back then, I was living in Amsterdam with my 2 kids. I'm a single mom. I'm divorced already in 2010. So my kids were 6 and 8 years old. So I was very, very shy in, inviting a man in my life. But he appeared to be a very kind man, also for my kids. So I was super happy in love. But were there red flags from the beginning? Hell yes. Did I ignore them? Absolutely. But you know, I thought, we can change him, you know, things will be better in the end if he does this and that and that. So, you know, we, after a while, he moved in with me and then we decided to buy a house in Den Haag. So it was his first house actually, and back then I had a very good job as a commercial director at a firm. So, but when we moved to Den Haag, I found like, I'm not so happy in this job anymore. I actually want to quit. I want to start for myself. I want to become a love and dating coach because you know what? I'm having such a great relationship myself. I see so many women struggling in love, you know. So what I want to do is work with the attachment styles and patterns and red flags because look where I am in my life now. So I did. And then that moment, I realized that he was looking at me in a different way. Why? Because he valued a lot a woman who is successful, status, money. So at that point, that time in my life, I wasn't successful. I was starting my own business, so I didn't have any money and no clients back then. So from that moment, things started to shift. Not in one day, but gently, you know, slowly. And from that moment, I felt from the pedestal. And he started to ignore me a little bit more, and I was like, okay, I need to do more my best. You know, I need to keep the vibe alive, the vibe that we had from the beginning. But nothing worked, actually. So it went worse and worse. I started to lose myself completely in the relationship, especially when COVID kicked in. We all know we were in lockdown. I was in a lockdown in my house with this man and my 2 kids. And he gave me the silent treatment, you know, and my kids were tiptoeing in the house. So I felt like, okay, I cannot handle this situation anymore. I have to make a choice because after months, you know, nothing changed. So I said to him, it's maybe you can live somewhere else, which he did. So, but still, my inner Disney princess believed that I could save the relationship. Until one day, it was winter, raining. I went on my bicycle for dinner with my friends. And then I walked in this restaurant. And then I saw a woman with red lipstick, a red beret, looking me right into the eyes. And I was like, who are you? Behind her, look who I saw, my partner. They walked outside. The only thing he said to me is hi, and then he left. And I was devastated. My heart was broken, shattered in 1,000 pieces. And then I had to get myself together because, you know, I felt so ashamed that I was a love and dating coach and I couldn't even have a relationship myself. How on earth can I help my clients? So I didn't want to show up. Even babies were born. People were getting married because I taught them how to. And then I learned one thing, you know, this is not about me. He stopped loving me, but I started rejecting myself. So from that moment, I was decisive and I was going to become the one myself for me. So I made bold choices. You know, my kids are now almost grown up. But last year, I decided to travel the world. And now I'm here in Bali, speaking on the stage, listening to my inner voice, who tells me all the time, Leonie, you're good enough. Leonie, you are worth it. Listen to that inner voice. Don't lose yourself ever, ever again to someone who doesn't value you. So that is the biggest lesson I learned in my life, and that's what I'm teaching every single day, how to become the one. And you know what? It feels so liberating to finally live the life that I'm meant for. And I can be a great example for my kids who are back in the Netherlands. They know that mommy is living in Bali. They will visit me this July, and I'm super proud of them. And I'm proud of myself that I finally choose me. So remember, always listen to your inner voice and choose yourself, no matter what.
So beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Such a beautiful talk. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that message. I think I've noticed this. I'm sure you'll probably notice it either consciously or unconsciously on some level within your own relationships or maybe in the relationships of others, is how when we continue to neglect and abandon ourselves, the demonstration that we're setting for others is that, why would I respect that person when they're not respecting themselves, right? That was the line that really stood out to me. And when we can step past that and go, let's give up the people-pleasing and the caretaking and all the self-neglect and start having boundaries and start listening to our own voice, becoming that powerful, strong man or woman, we can start attracting the people that we really want in our lives. It's wild. I heard this come up the other day on Instagram, and the opening quote was like, how for women, choose a man that chooses you. Isn't that so obvious? But how often do we see that, woman? I don't know. It seems like an obvious thing. So if we want dating advice, maybe we'll go and speak to Leonie, yeah? Yeah? Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Leonie one more time. Wonderful talk. So there was something that Louisa said to me. Oh, yes. If you're taking content, if you haven't been taking content yet, please start. And if you have been, we'd really love the tags. Tag, give it all _event. We share all the tags of all the speakers, all the photos. This is how we get the brand awareness out so other people can join us. I was sitting here last month at Founders Breakfast, and it was actually Nathan, the same guy that I spoke about before. He was there, and he said at the end of it, he goes, Daniel, you didn't invite anyone back. And I was like, he goes, why don't you invite us back and maybe even bring a friend? And I was like, well, yeah, that's kind of obvious. And then I sat down and somebody else came up and said to Nathan, he goes, Nathan, thank you so much for sharing that with Daniel, because I had no concept or even imagination to come back. And now that you've mentioned it, I've got 3 friends that would like to come back to this. And I was sitting there kind of like, that's so embarrassingly obvious. Why don't I invite you guys all to come back? If you loved it, would you love to come back? Yes? Could you bring a friend? Do you know a friend to come back and bring along? So I really want to share with you, this happens all the time as well. Most of you don't even know what the schedule of Give It All is. How embarrassing is that for me? So Give It All happens on the 4th Thursday of every month. Put it in your calendar. So I don't have to, you know who I'm talking about. I don't have to remind you on the day. Put it in the calendar if you'd like to come along. So the next event's going to be the 25th of June. We're going to open the checkout probably after the weekend when I can come back to my computer and set it all up. We have early bird tickets right up until the week before the event, because we value commitment. If you buy a ticket early, you're committing to come, yeah? Most of you buy tickets in the last 12 hours, and that's really stressful as an event host. And a person will go, is anyone going to show up to my thing? You all show up, but you all come at the last minute. So book early. We're going to give you discounts on that. Come along, bring a friend. That's how we can continue to grow and network with each other. A really cool tip here somebody shared with me as well is when you meet someone here that you like, ask who they came with because chances are you'll like their friends too. I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Awesome. Anyway, that was my little invitation. Let's give it up for our next speaker of the evening. Ella, come to the stage. You're welcome to bring the... Welcome, you're here finally.
Thank you.
You didn't want the towel?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for such a lovely welcome. I really appreciate it. When I was 16, I came to visit my great aunt, and I found her dead. In her bed. She lived alone, almost blind, hardly able to walk. I sat at her bed for hours waiting for help to come. I can still see her pale face and the cockroach crawling across her body. This image has never left me. So, sitting at her bed at that time, I had made a vow. I did not know yet what this vow would cost me, but I knew something had to be different. I grew up in Ukraine, in Soviet Union. When Soviet Union broke down, the times were hard and unpredictable. I didn't know if I would have anything to eat or if it would be heating when it was minus 20 outside. My great aunt, the woman I found that day, she carried wounds that started long before this. Her father was declared an enemy of the state and sent to Siberia, where he completely vanished. This branded our family. It stole opportunities, dignity, safety. My great aunt lived full of resentment and bitterness. I heard it through the multiple repetitive stories she told us, through the fear she carried, through the scarcity mindset she lived in. But the trauma did not stop there. My father drank heavily to manage his own fear and sense of powerlessness. He couldn't control his world, so he controlled ours through abuse. I lived in constant hypervigilance, attuned to his moods, anticipating danger. And my mom, she couldn't set boundaries to my father, so she put her anger onto me, calling me ugly, stupid, evil. So I've learned to survive through achievement. I worked 12-hour days. I studied relentlessly. I wanted to achieve perfection, to earn the place in this world. At 24, I was offered a position of deputy dean in one of the most prestigious universities in Ukraine. I've earned a highly competitive degree in Australia. I had a successful private practice in Melbourne. From the outside, I was a success. But inside, I was living in dread and terror. Relentless inner voice telling me that I was worthless, stupid, unlovable. Sitting at my great aunt's bed years earlier, I had made the vow that I would not be swallowed by bitterness and resentment. I did not know then that this would require much more than achievement, because success does not erase trauma. I tried all sorts of therapy, individual, group work, retreats that pushed me to the edge, 10-day silent meditations, shamanic journeys, somatic healings. Studying psychology became both survival and devotion. I wanted to understand why people hurt each other and how this cycle can be stopped. How can we move from relentless inner critic to kinder inner voice? from fear to safety, from numbness to aliveness. And I kept coming back to this vow. I've learned that pain coexists together with joy and beauty, and that gratitude and appreciation are the antidotes to resentment and bitterness. Sunshine playing on the surface of the sea after long, cold winter. Juicy, fresh strawberries. A deep conversation with someone I love. My body feeling strong and alive. And I keep coming back to joy, to beauty, to gratitude and appreciation, because I know the cost of living without them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's such a challenging story to often hear of the experiences of people, what you've been through, what your family has been through. I've noticed this going over to Bulgaria and Eastern Europe to visit Louise's family, and I'm like, I can't imagine these kinds of hardships that we grow up, like that people have grown up with. We live in such easy times now. Isn't it crazy that we can just get anything we want immediately, basically? Whether it's a girl or man on Tinder or a cookie delivered to your door, a cappuccino right there. You know, everything is just so immediate, easy. Yet these times have only just started compared to the challenging times that humans have been through. So I really feel your story. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. I think it's such a wonderful vow and realization. It's something that's only just started dawning on me, is looking at and the appreciation for the whole concept of yin and yang, the opposites that happen and the perfect harmony of the world. I think when I reflect on my own journey, I'm always chasing happiness, but happiness can't really exist without those darker times, those more challenging times, can they? So I was sitting there and I was reflecting, and I'm thankful. I can't even imagine what some of those times must have been like. But if you can come out of those dark times, then really appreciate the good times. It's a wonderful thing. So thank you so much for sharing. One more round of applause for Ella. Yes. So I'm going to come down off the stage. This is the time where you're able to share with us what's your insight for this evening? What's your key takeaway? What's something that has stood out to you specifically in your life and your challenge and your moment of that it is that you're in this world and your reality, that you're like, that was a really great reminder, or that spoke to me. I needed that message right now. What was that for you specifically? I'd love to hear from three of you. Who would like to kick us off? You're very fast. Let's do that. Start with your name and what your insight is and what you're going to action or do with that insight.
Okay. My name is Maria Katia, and thank you to the beautiful lady. What is the dog's puppy luxury lady? Hi. So, I wanted to demonstrate a lot in my life, and thank you for reminding me the price of that. And I became an entrepreneur just because of that, because I wanted to make it. And my masculine was so thriving. I was so proud of myself. And about not taking those advices, thank you so much for reminding me, because I now operate from a different space. Like I'm building something globally in the world, which is about to be announced next month. And this is something that I really take on board today. Never take advices for someone that is not where I want to be. And I just needed today to remind myself that. So thank you so much for being the lighthouse and shining your light. I really appreciate you so much.
Is there some way that you're going to be applying that? Is there a piece of advice that you haven't been, like a bad piece of advice? unsuitable piece of advice for yourself that you've been following that you're now going to give up? It's a wonderful reminder, but how does it stick with you right now?
Okay, it's between tears and laugh, so it's like the worst advice I've been given. Is that what you're asking?
Whatever it is.
So many.
For now, where it is that you're at.
It's like something that really brings tears into my eyes. Is like, why do you want to go to school? Your brother didn't make it. Why would you have to be successful? So the advice was, don't study. You will get married. And I'm now studying at the University of Integrated Science in Colorado. And maybe one day I'll get married too. Why not?
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. Here you go. Who else wants to go? Let's hear from, we've had lots of women sharing, so let's go to a man. Here, stand up, start with your name.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Ryan Nurse. So my insight or reminder today is, I'm going to say thank you actually to all of the speakers today, because it's just a reminder for me that we've all been through some sort of trauma, or we're all going through trauma, you know, we're all going through a difficult stage in our life. So for me, really, it's just, I say thank you to you, Daniel, by the way, the power of human connection. Like, we're all here for a reason, right? We're all here to listen to the speakers today, but we're all here to support each other. Like you got here, you're supporting your friends. So the power of human connection, not just sat behind a screen or on our phones or laptops and stuff, getting around people, but actively listening to individuals, what they've been through, and more importantly, where they're actually going in their life, and to be able to support one another. Like, just by showing up today, we've all supported the speakers in their unique journeys, and I'm sure they've all gained a little bit of confidence. Like you said, like, we should all get up, celebrate each other. And that's just not here, that's in every area of your life. If you've got friends that are maybe starting businesses or changing countries or having children, getting married, it could be anything. Support those friends, because you never know what just a simple word or a kind comment, you never know how far it goes, you know. So for me, that's a reminder to celebrate the people that mean the most to us, support them in any way that we can, and it's just a big, big reminder that we've all been through challenges and we are all going through challenges. So the more that we can openly speak and, yeah, don't be afraid to share on stages and with each other, you know, like, the more we're going to eventually help each other become better and ultimately, yeah, leave a positive impact on the world. So
How are you going to action that?
So for me, yeah, no, thank you. So for me, I'm going to action it by making sure I share my fucking message all across the world. Like, my dream is to speak on stages all across the world. So tonight's really inspired me, and yeah, I'll be here next month on stage. So
Boom.
thank you, everybody.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you, brother. One more brother. Let's choose another brother in the house. I feel like the woman, like, I'm looking around. Look how many women there are here compared to the men. Where are the brothers? Job, you've already spoken. You got to say, I really liked that insight that I gave. Someone else. Here we go. Yes, of course. You've got something. Stand up, start with your name.
Yo, Richie. Haven't fully formed the insight yet, but the takeaway was, I was talking to Ashley here, just from everyone's like amazing speeches and like a soup of ideas. Really just that, what was was it Ryan? Ryan, yeah. Sort of just piggybacking off of everyone here, that they're really, like you know, we've got problems or challenges or whatever. They're really, the cool thing about that, the way I see it anyway, is there's no opportunity or anything to get excited about without those challenges. Yeah, that's it.
And how are you going to action that?
Actually, every day, mate.
Tomorrow, what are you gonna get excited about? The challenge that you're gonna get excited about is gonna give you the progress. This is your invitation to choose the challenge, moving through into the weekend, maybe next week.
What do you mean?
Choose the challenge
The challenge.
that you're gonna get excited about.
Probably connecting with more people, more humans, just from a place of curiosity.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
I love it. Thank you, man. Thank you. Here you go. Let's give it up. So those vouchers that we've just given out, you must go and find Nikita. She's the lady that checked you in. Get your name written on it, get the date on it, then you can bring it back and you can use that 200K next time you're at Mavi, whether it's here, at Give It All, or another event. Make sure you get them validated because apparently someone didn't do it and they missed out on using it. So get your name written on it, yeah? Got that? Awesome. So let me get back up to the stage. Show of hands who love those insights? Yeah, it's awesome hearing some other perspectives, right, of what can be taken away as the audience. And I'm sure many of you have got insights that you're sitting with, you're pondering on. This is my invitation to think about what is true for you after tonight and how it is that you're going to step into that and action those insights. Whether it's choose the challenge, reach out to someone, support someone, really go and find that truth that you're sitting with and action it. Okay, here's one little shout out for Louisa as well. You've never done that, but yes, let's shout her out. On the table, many of the tables, you'll see Louisa's little pretty face there with the pink card. Not just as +1 is Louisa's channel. It's specifically for the women here that know they're meant for more. And I think it's a wonderful channel. Half of it's in Bulgarian, which probably most of you won't be able to understand. The other half is in English. A few of you here have been on Louisa's podcast. The way that she selects, I'm sure there's a few women in here that would love to be on her podcast. I'm going to let them know how you select them. Yeah? So a lot of women go up and say, Louisa, I'd love to be on your podcast. And she's like, eh. But when you come up on the stage or you're speaking really passionately about what it is that you do and you got that vibe, that's how she selects them. So come and speak on the stage, come and connect with Louisa, be awesome, stand for more, show your truth, and subscribe, is what she says. If you don't subscribe to the channel, she won't accept it. So let's get up for Louisa. Thank you so much. A really wonderful channel, by the way. Check it out. All right, so now, I forgot to prepare an introduction. So we got Arthur Kamazi. Anyone familiar with him? A few of you? Oh, look, you got some fans in the crowd. Anyone see his reel? I recorded that reel a long time ago. You didn't see the reel on Instagram. We put all this work into like the promotional stuff. Yeah, okay, if you've seen it. So I bumped into Arthur quite a few months ago now, and I didn't realize that he's quite a big deal in the stuff that he knows about. And I'm really interested to know what he knows about. So, can we give it up for Arthur? Come to the stage. Oh, look at this. Straight up the front. I like it. I brought him in for his theatrical performances. So, we don't have a headset for you, but I'm sure you can manage with the microphone.
Or I can just speak.
The stage is yours, my brother.
There we go. We'll work on this. All right, so, okay, first of all, okay, he says I'm like this big deal and everything else, but I started out as a stupid kid. No, really. So what happened was, see, when I was young, I went to school. How many of you went to school? All right, okay, that's good, okay. And the thing is, though, that, in my school, the teachers, they kind of compared me and my skills with math and reading and spelling with all the other kids. And, well, quite honestly, I didn't really compare. So they called my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Karmazi, your son Arthur is special. Code word for stupid. And we would like to put him in our special children's class, which was the stupid kids class. So off I went. And, there was this teacher, her name was Mrs. Kelly, and she was like so sweet and so kind. And she's like, really giving me a lot of attention because I'm stupid. And it turned out the more stupid that I acted, the more attention I got. And guess what? I like attention. So I learned to be even more stupid. But then the school changed the rules and they said before you can go to high school, you have to have an algebra class. And I'm thinking, algebra? Oh my gosh, isn't that like math for smart kids? I can't do that. But I want. Why? Because I needed to go to high school. But you know my very first report card, you know what I got? That was a question. I got an F. Of course I got an F. I was a stupid kid, right? But this was something different that happened. My 8th grade algebra teacher told me to come up next to the next to the blackboard. Okay, I'm not going to date it, but so he wrote down a simple algebra problem, and he said, can you solve this? And what did I do? I did what all the teachers always told me to do. I started to show my work. He said, no, don't show your work. I just want you to look at it and try to tell me what you think the answer is. And I said, well, it's this. And he said, that's right. And I said, okay. And then he put another simple algebra problem in there, and he says, what do you think the answer is? And I said, it's this. He says, that's right. He says, Arthur, how would you like some extra credit so that you can kind of bring your F up so that next semester you'll be okay? And I said, well, yeah, I like extra credit. And he says, no problem. All you have to do is every Friday, we're going to have a little contest, and you get it in front of the entire class, and you do exactly what you just did now, but you're competing with some of the other students. And you want me to come up in front of the other class and, like me, the stupid kid? And he says, yeah. I said, okay. And so Friday came up, and it turns out I'm really good at this game. But here's the difference. I was good at this game in front of all of my classmates. And, after a while, after 3 weeks or so of constantly winning this little game, some of these other students come up to me and they say, hey, Arthur, can you help me with my homework? And I'm thinking, oh my God, these people think I'm smart. So I say, no, my mom, she's kind of like waiting for me, sorry, okay? But then one day, Lynn Pachalski, this beautiful 8th grade girl, comes up and says, Arthur, can you help me with my homework? I'm like, yeah. And I learned to be smart. See, the thing is that the only difference was the perception that people had of me because of the way that I did things. Have you ever had some really great idea or you've got something that, not just a normal idea, like something awesome, something game-changing, and you're like, wow, I know this idea is going to be really cool, and then you tell it to people and they go, what? And they just don't understand you. They don't get you. They don't understand how you think and how you work. Have you ever had that? And so a while ago, I managed to get myself $500,000 in debt, which really sucked. I do not recommend it. Do not try this at home. Okay? But it made me get a job, like a real one where you work for a company and stuff. So I got this job, and I go into this thing, and have you ever had a job? I know that a lot of you are like entrepreneurs, and this is Bali, and like most of you haven't had a job for like a really long time, right? But have you ever had a real job? And so I go into this job. When you have a job, it's like, wow, you're thinking I'm going to, 5 years into the future, I'm going to be the CEO of regional, and I'm going to be like this, and, next year I'm going to be like this. And I was so excited. You remember being excited when you first got your job? You remember that? And then 2 weeks later, you notice all these little things are going on, and everybody's blaming each other, and these people are blaming these people, and the finance people are blaming everybody else, and everybody hates the finance guys anyway, so they blame them. And so you've got all these things that I'm thinking, my gosh, what is wrong with these people? But I thought, okay, no problem. I'm very positive. I can fix this. I can get through it. Okay, and And then I'd come up with ideas, and I'd share them with other people, and they'd look at me and say, we understand you're new here. But, we're very busy. We got our own things. You got your things. You do your thing, we'll do our thing. But I knew I could make a difference. I knew it. And so, 4.5 months later, you know what happened? That was a question. What? Well, yeah, I didn't get fired, okay? But you know what happened was that without even realizing it, I started blaming people. And, and I was like, oh, these people are like that, and these people like this. And then people would come up to me, hey, Arthur, can you help me? I was like, no, look, you do your thing, I'll do my thing. I got sucked in. And once again in my life, I became an underachiever. Have you ever known that you can really do more? Really do more. Be in a situation where, it's like people just don't really kind of understand you, and you can really achieve more. Have you ever felt that? But you maybe felt a little stuck? That's where I was. I was stuck. And I started becoming this underachiever, busy work kind of person. Those people that just are so annoying because they're not really doing any real work, but it looks like they're working? That was me. And so, one day I just realized, I looked into the mirror and I said, you suck. Not you, but, like in the mirror thing, right? Okay? And I needed to do something, so I went and I talked to these other department heads, all these other people who are making my life hell. But I discovered something completely different than I expected. I discovered that they were actual human beings, that they also had the same kind of problems that I did. They also had the same kind of, direction that kind of got misaligned. And so I thought, wow, it's not really the people, it's the environment. Because then I realized, well, see, in one environment before I was here, I was awesome. In fact, I was so awesome, I was actually very conceited. But the thing is that it was something where, this environment with this group of people made me an underachiever, while doing the same kind of thing in a different environment, I was a superachiever. Have you ever had that? So I decided I was going to come up and solve this problem. I wanted to solve the problem for myself. So I came up with this framework eventually called directive communication psychology. And what I'd like to share with you right now is one element of DC psychology. The element that is going to essentially help you understand why some people just don't get you, and why sometimes when you're explaining something to someone, you've explained things, right? You're explaining something very clearly. You've been there, right? And you tell them and you understand, right? And they say, yes, I do, and you're feeling really good, and then they do something completely different. Has that ever happened? And so, what I'm going to do before I tell you about this, I want you all to stand up. All right? Now, I want you to take the chairs and put them under the table as best as you can. Okay? And you will all have some glasses that look similar to this, okay? So I want you to put on the glasses. All right? Everybody, you got your glasses? Now, you're going to look up here. All right, now, I'm going to divide you into two groups, all right? We're going to go, all right, we're going to get this group's right there. Let's see, gentleman in the green shirt, what's your name? Peter. Okay, see, everybody from Peter forward, you're group A. Okay, everybody behind Peter is group B. Okay, so you got to make sure you look and see who is on your team. Peter, you're in group A. all right? Just to make sure you're not like in no man's land. All right? So everybody behind Peter, you're group B. Everybody got that? You understand? Okay, and we have light here, right? So people can see me. All right. So here's what's going to happen. All right? In a moment, I am going to show you 2 arrows. Okay? Group A, you are going to go in the direction of the light-colored arrows. Now, don't run, because then we're going to cause accidents, and they're probably not insured, so don't run. Okay? Now, group B, you are going to go in the direction of the dark-colored arrows. You guys know? Okay, raise your hand if you think you're in group B. Okay? No, you're in group A. You're on the same line as Peter. Come forward. Just take one small step. There you go. Oh, okay, good. Group A. All right, ready? Okay, Group A, raise your hand. Group A, raise your hands. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so let's say, for example, if you see the Group A, if you see the light-colored arrows, everybody has to touch this wall over here in order to basically win this game. Okay, if you see the dark-colored arrows, you have to at least touch whatever is on this side of the wall. Okay, don't have to jump on top of this stuff. All right, you ready? Okay, I'm going to put this down for a moment. All right, so let's see, make sure I got the right. Okay, are you ready? Yeah. Okay, Group A, what color arrow? What arrows are you following? Light. Group B, what arrows are you following? Light. Okay, ready, go! All right, so here's what happened, okay? Obviously, we had one very passionate leader here. And she managed to convince at least one person to, even though this, okay, sorry, what's your name again? Hero lady? Kat. She managed to convince Kat. Kat knew she was wrong. Kat knew, no, this is the wrong direction. But she followed her anyway. Okay, so what happens here is that, see, you will notice that sometimes people are they're arguing. No, you should go this way. No, we should go that way. No, it's the wrong way. That's the wrong way. No, follow me. This is the right way. Okay, and then you've got the other people over there that are just kind of standing in the middle. It's like, I don't give a fuck. And then you've got everybody else that decided, well, we're just, even though it doesn't matter, we're just going to go all in that direction because everybody else is here, so might as well just follow the crowd. Okay? But, and there's some of you that will actually just follow what you think and not care about what other think. So, but see, this is what happens. This is what happens in real life, right? You ever notice, like, you're having a meeting with your team and, people will, oh, you're the boss. Okay, I don't think what you're saying is accurate, true, or even competent, but I'm going to follow you anyway because you're the boss. Okay? You guys can sit down now, but I'm going to show you this in a moment. No, nobody will see. In a moment, I'm going to show you what this means. Here. All right. So sit down, and I want you to change. Look at these right now. Look at these. Look at them. Okay? With the colored glasses. Now I want you to change your colored glasses. Change them. Change them with somebody next to you. All right? We good? Are we good? All right? Did you see how that works? Okay, see, here's the thing, right? You've been there. Something is so obvious. It is just common sense. You look at it, it's clear. This is the freaking arrow. It's going that way, and it's obvious. It's common sense. Why are you fucking going in the wrong way? Okay? But yet, you've got, you've got other people that look at you and they're thinking, your common sense is no sense at all. And that's what happens. See, that breaks trust. You ever notice that somebody that may be competent, maybe yourself, okay, sometimes has a really great idea, but because you are looking through red glasses and the other people are looking through blue glasses, that they just don't get you. It's not that your ideas are bad, it's just that the process by which you do things is different. See, so one of the models in the DC psychology body of work is called the colored brain. And it's based on your brain's ambiguity relief process. Now, how many of you have brains? Okay, well, at least, 30% of the crowd does. Okay, that's better than usual. All right, so now if you've got a brain, that means that this ambiguity relief, it's a genetic process. Now, mind you, not your personality, okay? And it is not your behavior. It is one thing. How you get clarity, how you do things. Let's say you're analyzing things. How many people analyze stuff? Okay, most people do, right? But let's say you are one type of brain, you're going to analyze things by going, oh, okay, well, if I do this and I'm going to do that, and it's like, and this thing happens, it's like I do that, that's how you're analyzing, right? Well, the other person, when they're analyzing, it's like, why are you doing it that way? No, you got to do it like this. You got to check this, wait, get the information, check that. Okay, see how that works. Okay, put this together. Okay, no, okay. Maybe then we could try it. Okay, so here I'm going to share with you 4 different colored brains. All right, you ready? All right, brain color number 1, which is called chaotic processing. All right, chaotic processing. Now you may look at this, you hear that sound, the chaotic processing, oh, that must be bad. Well, maybe, but maybe not. Okay, so let's just look at it. Okay, and some of you will kind of relate to this. Okay, you need action in order to get clarity. Okay, why? Because in your brain, nothing is connected. So you need to start taking action. It's like, try this. Hey, wait. Let me ask you a question. You think this is good? You think this is good? Oh, okay? And you're getting feedback on a regular basis. So what happens is that because you're constantly taking action to try to get clarity, you make a lot of freaking mistakes. Okay? But because you're constantly taking action to get clarity, your mistakes are usually kind of worked through in the process and nobody even knows you made them. And if you do make a big mistake, then what ends up happening is that you kind of see a different way because you're still kind of figuring things out. And sometimes people may blame you saying, you change your mind a lot, don't you? But in your perspective, no, I'm not changing my mind. I'm simply reshaping the same stuff that, it's still the same goal, just reshaping it so it's better, right? So this is called chaotic processing or green brain, all right? Now, how many of you believe that you have a green brain? And it's like, you're working on something, you're really good at starting stuff, okay? Not so good at finishing them. And then sometimes in the middle of something, it's like, squirrel. Okay? Green brain. All right, excellent. Now, okay, just to let you know, green brains can create from nothing. Okay? That means you don't need anything. It's like, oh, wow, here's a spoon. I just got a new idea for an app. Okay? Now, then there's the red brain. All right? Red brain is called linear processing. Linear means that I need to figure out, okay, this plus this plus this equals this, right? So I get clarity through structure. How does this work? How does it connect? Where's the structure? If I can find the structure, then it's easy, right? See, green brains, if you give them structure, they're going, oh my God, I'm so confined in my little box. Please let me out. Well, a red brain is like, please give me the box. Okay, I need to see, where do I go from here? Okay, show me the structure, right? While the other people are, like, okay, so now you've got red brain over here. It's like, I need the structure in order to get clarity. The green brains, I need to take action without structure, okay, so that I can get clarity. Do you think there might be a little bit of conflict there? So red brains make the least mistakes of any other brain color, okay? Linear process, do this, do this, do this, okay? The problem is that if they do make a mistake, I think we have to start over because this just doesn't make sense. I mean, we've already done this, and just like start from scratch, okay? Which means they take the longest to recover from a mistake than any other brain color. Life is fair, okay? So, now, red brains can also be creative, but in a different way than green brains, because they're creative by creating models in their head of what could happen, okay, and then applying that to whatever it is that they're working on. Now, okay, the other colored brain is called the purple brain, okay? This is relational processing. It's relating everything to everything else. Now see, both green and red, you actually have to actively do something. With purple, you just need details. You need lots of little details, little information, things that are going to really kind of help you to figure things out. It's like, okay, I need to know how much time this is going to take. I need to know, when it's going to be, when it's going to work, where it's going to be like this, and I need more information, more details, okay? And the more information you have, then it's just kind of these options suddenly appear. It's kind of like this big giant TV screen where all the pixels are starting to come together, and then you see the picture. And you're going, I see the options, okay? Now, with a purple brain, okay, or relational processing, sometimes they're misunderstood. See, it takes a lot of time to get all of this information. And so sometimes people just like, is it done yet? Are we there yet? Is it done yet? Okay, and basically you end up creating this situation where you know that you need to do this, you need this information, but people just don't really kind of appreciate it. So, how many of you think that you're purple brain maybe? Okay, lots of information gives you options, and then you choose the options. Okay? Nobody? Maybe one, two? Okay, there you go. Now, the final one is the blue brain. This is intuitive processing. See, you know what intuition is, right? It's when the universe gives you the direction in a spiritual way to determine your way to go. At least that's the Ubud definition. But in reality, intuition is essentially accessing memory and that you don't know you have. Let's say, for example, 2021, you are in the supermarket. This is since we're talking about COVID, right? Okay, you're in the supermarket, okay, before the lockdown, or one of those little moments where they allow you to go out, and you're buying cantaloupes. But behind you, there are two people talking. You don't really pay attention because you're focusing on your cantaloupes. But then 3 months later, you hear something about Bitcoin. It's like, Bitcoin, yeah, that sounds familiar. I'm going to buy some Bitcoin, okay? And suddenly, 6 months after that, you have made 8 times your money, and you're like, whoa, people are saying, how did you know? And you say, well, it just felt right. But in reality, those two people that were talking behind you, they were Bitcoin specialists talking about the market trends and all of these things. And you didn't pay attention, but your subconscious did. And so because of that, what happened is that you had this feeling, intuition, but it was really subconscious memory. So blue brains will get more clarity through their ability to reflect on things that are going. So with a blue brain, see, they're very intuitive and even to a point where empathetic in some cases. So that means that sometimes, okay, they'll be talking to people and people will be telling them their problems, and they're probably really good listeners because they're empathetic, but then they start taking on other people's problems as their own.
And sometimes it's a little bit difficult. So sometimes blue brains are misunderstood because you've got other people say, well, exactly, how did you come about, how did you arrive at this answer? And well, the blue brain says, well, it just kind of felt right. And a red brain is like, that makes no sense. So, any people who think you might be blue brain here? All right. So we've got greens. Okay, greens, raise your hand. Okay, if you think you're green. Red. Okay, linear processing. Okay, if you think you're red. Okay, logic, structure. Okay, purple, which is basically now connecting back to the detailed information. Okay, and then finally blue, who is connected with a kind of a sense of things that are going. All right, and I'm guessing the rest of you that didn't raise your hands have no brain. So here's the thing. If you can really understand yourself, if you understand who you are, is it easier to be able to manage your expectations about others? So that's kind of the whole point, right? It's not about other people, it's about who you are. If I know that I'm green, okay, guess what color I am? Okay, I just made this shit up as I came up here, right? So okay, so so as a green brain person, if I know I'm green, okay, and I get a purple brain person on my team, and they're asking me for details, I'm not gonna go, oh my God, I'm surrounded by idiots that just don't want to move quickly. Okay, I'm gonna go, how much more information would you like? Okay, because now I understand them. I understand how to help them be successful. And if I can help them to be successful, they're gonna make me successful. Okay, so by managing your own expectations so you don't kill people, and that includes your love relationships and all of those things, okay, then you're able to create synergistic teams and help other people to essentially be the best of themselves. Rather than trying to be, oh, I'm green brain, so therefore I should learn to be more red. No, be the best green you can and get other red brain people to help you achieve your stuff. Okay, so with that, okay, from going from stupid kid to now we have over 980 licensed coaches and trainers who use this methodology and all our online tools and everything, in their businesses, okay, simply because I wasn't understood in the beginning, and now I have helped myself to understand who I am and helping others to understand themselves as well. So with that, I leave you with one question. Do you want a free test? So anybody who wants a free test, you have to send me an email at arthurc@carmazzi.net, CARMAZZI.net, and I will send you a code that is going to give you a free test. But I'm going to send you a code that's going to connect all of you. That means you'll be able to see everybody in this room, and you'll see their color, and you'll also be able to click on the little button and find out how to better communicate with them, how to have better relationships with them, all of this little stuff. So I'm going to connect all of you in this code, and that way you can also network with each other and know each other's colored brains. So Arthur, ARTHURC @carmazzi.net, free test for you. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Amazing speaker. Thank you. Amazing experience. I'm going to put that this email address into an email tomorrow or whenever I do the follow-up so then we can all connect. I didn't know you got off of that. That's amazing gift. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
It's a marketing thing, right? Because then I get everybody's email address.
I'm glad you're a man of transparency. Thank you. I'm going to call everyone that was on the stage here tonight, call you all back up, let's get a group photo, and as we do it, can we give our speakers one last standing ovation? for them, for yourselves, and having a wonderful evening tonight. Thank you so much for an amazing audience. Come to the stage, speakers, where are you? And we can certainly just go as well, Dominic, thank you. We're going to be hanging out for another 15 minutes, half an hour, 45 minutes, as long as you want. Let's eat, drink, socialize. And we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Hand them to them when they come off and say, you're now our official Give It All speaker. Where's our cameraman actually? Ooh. Pretty cool, right? Where's our cameraman? We should have this. Where's John? Okay. How do we do? Was that a wrap up?